The following program is powered by Ride the Wave Media.
Introducing the best podcast in Utah, Radio Daybreak. Here are your hosts, Just Plain and Bex.
Oh, yes. We're back. We're back together, Bex. This is the first time in 3 weeks or something?
It's been a minute. Like, you were off in Fiji. You know, I was over in Turks and Caicos.
Yeah, right. right.
The sound was what was going on.
It was wild, though. But we did some great stuff. We had the International Women's Day show. That thing that took off. It was great. Some great minds coming together, talking about...
It doesn't end. We're
No.
still with that.
That's right. That's what I want to continue to do. And as you see, we've got another empowered woman with us right now. Tina Salisbury. We'll get to her. First up, though, we got a couple of announcements.
Yes, we do.
Daybreak Business Community Networking Events still going down every Wednesday, 1 o'clock p.m. to 2:30 p.m. Right now, we got 2 more Wednesdays. Today, if you're listening to this as it came out today, and then Wednesday, the 27th of March, I had to make sure we're still that we will be at Biscott's for the next 2, and then we're moving locations.
That's right. 1 to 2:30 Biscott's in the month of March. And then are we announcing our new location?
We might as well. You know what? Because we're going through a complete overhaul of the Daybreak Business Community, the DBC networking events.
Maybe.
We're moving to Harmon's upstairs. We'll be at Harmon's upstairs. The Rachel, I believe, is the manager at Harmon's. They are excited. They're ready to have us. We're ready to be there. We're ready to be there. So...
of April, yeah, that's where we're going to be. And I'm going to just throw it out there because we're announcing big changes with DBC. We're getting a website.
Oh, I love it. We got the preview the other day. It looks great.
Yeah.
It looks great.
It does.
What other announcements do we have? Are there anything else before we need to get to our guest?
Have so many people coming up on the show. The next month is going to be fantastic. We've got some great guests lined up. I'm not going to give that away just yet. But yeah, we've got some fantastic guests coming to the show.
All right, let's get to our great guest today.
Exactly.
Tina Salisbury, welcome to the show. Welcome to Radio Daybreak.
Hi, thank you guys so much. I love so much of what I see in your show. So thank you so much. I'm really excited to be here and contribute to this community.
Excited to have you. First up, just top level view. Tell us what you do.
Yeah, I am a mom and wife, first of all. So I have 5 kids at home. I've been married for 23 amazing years.
Wow.
And I am a life and performance coach. So what that means really is I help people to really understand where they are currently, why they're doing what they do, how to really incorporate and understand how our mind works, and how to start shifting things so that we can actually feel better about what we're doing, which then starts to allow us to act and do more of what we want to do. So I work mostly with amazing groups of working mothers, and really their main, I think, pain point is, I guess what I would call it, is really this desire to have more balance in their life, to create more, instead of just feeling successful in their careers. They want to feel successful in their careers, but not at the lack of being a great mom and being a great wife, because it's easy to feel like when we get to something, it means we're taking away from something else. So we want to create that synergy. I call it your and lifestyle.
Yeah.
So you can have both, right? And be really great at both.
I love that because balance is something we all look for. Like it's hard to find. Yeah. And I love that you're helping women find that balance and not feeling like they are just one thing. Like you got to pick one thing. You're teaching people how they can actually balance their life. How did you come to, how did this happen? What's your story to get here? Yeah.
I am a 20-year veteran working mom myself. And for the first 13 years, I worked in a corporate position. I loved it. I worked with business development, and I just always, and I was very successful at it, multiple 6-figure income. But no matter how many awards that I acquired, how many trips I earned, how big my paycheck was, every Sunday night, I would cry. As I looked at Monday and thought about leaving my family. You know, Friday was this magical moment of I get to fully immerse myself as a mom. I get to fully give myself to my family.
The Sunday scaries. The Sunday scaries is what that is, right? We've all been there.
Yeah.
Lots of us.
That, right? Like your Friday, you look forward to seeing your family. You kind of put them on the back burner all week because you've just been so busy.
Yeah. And it feels like, it felt like that. Like I could be really great at work. Or if I chose to step away from that, then I could be a really good mom.
Right.
I had those days where I was trying to really kill it at both and be amazing at both. I just didn't feel like I was able to give to that. So again, living into either being great at work or great as a mom, but always feeling defeated and being great at both and not feeling able to do that. So it even led me to give up this really great career, the successful career, because I really got to a point where I just felt like the only way I can fully show up as the mom and wife and the support I want, which was the most important piece of my life, was to give that away, right? To give that work piece away. Well, only to find that there was a lot of things even at home that I could make myself not feel enough in. And so to see that cycle perpetuate, even though I gave up the career, was really hard because, working actually is a big piece of my identity. I love that piece of me. I love problem solving. I love being a solution provider. So a few years ago, I actually, after kind of trying some other at-home business opportunities, decided to have this opportunity really presented to me to go to school, get certified as a life coach. And when I did that and really thought about what do I want to do with this, who do I want to serve, I wanted to help all of those moms out there who felt like me, right?
There's a lot. Yeah.
Weekly feel the Sunday scary. Who just feel like, they have to make this choice. And honestly, a lot of us have just never been trained or taught or understand what really is going on underneath those feelings to know that we even could have a choice, right? It could be a different way. We don't have to feel that way. So I think to give that gift back of helping people just with that awareness and then also gain clarity about what is important to them, what matters is just, this is the calling I've been waiting for all my life, right? I am just really enjoying having so much fun stepping into this, growing myself, finding balance myself, but giving all of this back to just this amazing super power that women are.
You can see that on your face when you talk about it. You just radiate, and the big smile that you have, it just brings a lot of joy to your life. You can see that. So within that, that's the story how you got here. You created a group called Momentum. Is that correct?
Yeah. So I decided in working with working moms to start with a group program. So I do one-on-one coaching, but I really, really love this group program because it gives women the element of being able to be seen and to work on their solutions. Yet there's so much power when we do that together, because alone, we feel very alone. When we start to connect and I'm coaching someone and I've got someone else who's like, oh my gosh, I deal with that same thing, or I felt that way before. And there's so much power, whether or not we're being coached directly, just to learn from each other's story and to build a community, right? We call it the sisterhood. And to really celebrate each other, to help each other know we're not alone, and to find a community of like-minded women, because again, there's so many of us who are living in these limiting stories that we don't even know are our decisions, right? So putting ourselves powerfully in a group where we want to stand up, we want to change, we want to own this, we want to grow, I think is really important. So the group program is really, really helps strengthen that, right? Help you get clarity about where you are, understand what you really want to, where you want to go. And then we have this gap in between that, right? This chasm. It's like, how do we get there? And that's what Momentum does. It's all about helping us to be clear on that, helping us to set aligned goals with that vision, and then having the tools and support, the coaching to be able to step into it.
Let me ask you this. It's going to be a hard question. I'm a white man, so we don't know, but I want to get it out there. Why do you think women have been boxed in like this? What is it that makes it that train of thought that you don't think you can do? You can be multiple things or whatever it may be. Who told us that? Who said that? Is it society? What is it? What do you think it is, Tina? And Bex, I like to hear both of you.
Yeah, I think this is a good perspective for everyone because, there's no wrong answer here. Whatever our perspective is that's holding us tight is what's holding us tight. But we can go clear back to like the 1920s woman who had to step into the workforce, who, was taking care of everything in the house, everything in the family, took care of all of the people. And then because all of the men went off to war, we had to step into this role called working outside the home as well. And, as all of those men started coming back and reclaiming those jobs, I think women found that I actually love this piece of me, right? I love this part of me who can have something for myself. Yet it also felt like in order to have that, we had to be the one personally to be able to handle all of the other things too, right? So we wanted this piece for ourselves, yet we never allowed ourselves to change those boundaries. We never allowed ourselves to let go of all of those other responsibilities or find other ways that they could be taken care of without it having to be us. So we just started carrying all of it, right? And definitely, you hear stories from your grandma's generation, your mom's generation. We see it on the media. We see it on the news. We see it on social media where it's like, look how perfect and I can do all of it, right?
Yeah.
And we see this picture of this life of being able to carry it all, of needing to carry it all. So we all feel like if I'm not carrying it all, there's something wrong with me or I'm not enough. Stand into that. So yeah, let's blame society, right? Because it really is this perpetuation of, society saying this is the way it should be, but also, right, we have to start to claim ownership that the people that hold us captive in that is ourselves. And that doesn't always feel good, right? It's hard.
Yeah.
But, if we want to change it, we have to start changing it. And the beautiful thing is that with each woman who says, I'm going to do this in a way that feels good for me, it gives another woman permission to do that for her, right? So we are going to be able to start this wave, this trend of changing the world in the way women can show up best for themselves and their family and their work by just doing it one person at a time. Right?
I think we are on the cusp of changing those boundaries. And I can tell you right now, you guys aren't, and I say it like this, from a man to a woman, you're not the only ones that want some change and want some boundaries, new boundaries. There's a whole lot of us out there that are like-minded. We want to see some stuff change. It needs to change. It should have changed a long time ago, but it's still here. Bex, what do you got to add with that? I want to hear your...
Let me just say one thing while we're on this topic, and thank you for the question, Blaine, because that is not an easy question, but it's one that need to be asked. And I think, Tina, to your point, it can be, yes, definitely a societal thing, and we carry that with us generationally, right? We see that, and then it lands solely in the way that we were raised and taught, and the teachings. And
there's regional. I mean, if you're, let me jump in.
Wow.
If you're in Utah, there's a regional thing. There's the religion thing. There's that kind of dictates most things here. If you're in the South, it's the same thing. It's the Bible Belt. But when I went to LA, I was in a melting pot. And I know people say, oh, California, oh, this and that. I learned a lot out there that I would not have learned in the Bible Belt. I would not have learned right here in Utah. How do we get those kinds of minds to kind of all come together? I don't want to jump in and interrupt, but go back to what you were saying, Bex.
What I was going to say is there's a lot, it's multifaceted for sure. But what it ultimately comes down to, and what I think, Tina also touched on, is you got to dive deep personally. This is why I love what she's doing with these groups, is we may not know what those limiting beliefs are or that we even have them. It's just the way it is. It's the way it's been. It's the way you were taught. It's the culture. It's the religion. It's the fill in the blank. We may not know, but it's okay to break out of that. And I love what you said as well. When you see other women doing the thing, gives another woman permission to do so. So I think a lot of it, Blaine, for me personally, was limiting beliefs because of where I was raised and how I was raised in a very paternalistic society, household. So it was like, be quiet. I'm the man of the home. I have respect for me as the father. So I think that for me personally was where that was And if you don't know, you don't know. You didn't know
Yeah.
anything different.
And here's the important thing too, and hopefully this will be freeing, because I think a lot of times we like get stuck in that, well, where did this start, or how did I become this way?
Yeah.
Or what was it that actually, made me think like this? Which is awesome that we're starting to think like that.
Mhm.
But the truth of it is, we actually don't have to know. We don't have to know the why behind it or why it happened. If we want to make a change, if we want to have a different belief, if we want to step into a different story, we can just give ourselves permission to do it too, right?
Yeah.
So sometimes it is really helpful to understand the why. And, there's obviously both coaching and therapy that are really helpful for that in different ways. But I love that we actually can just say, today I'm going to decide, like, this is the way that I want to live. This is the way I want my life to go. And I'm going to go find solutions. I'm going to see how that's possible for me, and just give ourselves permission to adult, right? I call it.
Yeah.
To adult and say, you know what? I just don't have to go back to that if I don't want to. I can just choose to move forward with this new story. And that's pretty cool that we can.
Oh, I love it.
So you're saying, did I catch this? You said that you don't think that the why it matters really. You don't care what the why is or how we got here.
It doesn't have to, right? Sometimes it can be helpful, I think,
Yeah.
to see that. And, again, like a lot of therapy is built on that, right? Understanding why we are kind of locked into some of the things that we want to. But actually, yes, we don't need to understand that, because our mind can powerfully move us forward when we choose a different story, we choose a different belief. We can start acting on that belief. And as we start acting on it, right, then it's like physiological. Our body starts to understand, oh, this is who we're choosing to be now, right? And we can start making decisions and actions aligning with that. It's not always going to be easy, right? Because we're always going to kind of experience this dance between what we've practiced, the behaviors we've practiced, the thoughts we've practiced, the beliefs we've practiced, and what we want to stand tall in now, because that's not as familiar to us, right? It might be really true to our soul, like, this actually is who I am. But because we've practiced being something or somebody else, right, it's easy for us to kind of flow back into that, or want to get pulled back into that, because it's more comfortable for us.
Yeah. Let me play devil's advocate here for a second. And it's going to be in a positive way, so whatever you want to call it. But I have to say that I do think that the how and the why we got here is very important, at least to me, because I want to know that to see how we don't go back to that again.
Right. That's
if I don't know what that is, and we may not know.
Yeah, I was going to say, in that regards, to really understand, like, what I want to try to avoid, right? What boundaries I want to create moving forward. Absolutely, that can be. But to understand it as a reason, we need to wait until we understand it to be able to move forward.
Okay.
That we don't need to. So yeah, we can agree on that.
I love that. But it needs to be out there. And your event coming up, Momentum. Let's not call it Momentum, because I love how the graphics have mom. It always, anywhere I see it, it's different. It's set apart. It's a different color than the rest of the word. I love that. It stands out. It's the next level summit. And basically, you're going to help people get rid of mom guilt. We ain't even mentioned the word mom guilt yet. The hashtag mom guilt. But we've touched on it. But you're going to help people with that at this summit. What else can we see at this summit?
Yeah, so definitely, I mean, the biggest thing I think people are going to walk away from is this awareness of, why do we feel this way, right? Why, when we want to create something different, or we even know the actions that we want to take, why is it that we sometimes don't step into that, or what prevents us from doing that? And a lot of that is just really clarity in understanding where we are now and where we want to go, and how to again bridge that gap, which is a lot of the belief system, right? So, we often give a lot of power to our circumstances, right? Like, when this happened, then I can have this. Or when I'm finished with this stage of young toddlerhood, then I'll be able to go back to work and do more, right? And we find ourselves in this position to have to wait for something in life to happen for us to feel a certain way. So when I can tell you, what if that's not true? It doesn't have to be true ever. Like, you can actually feel good and happy and joyful even without those circumstances changing, you can start to create the things that you want, even though life is throwing you this challenge, or you have this obstacle, or you have this roadblock, right? It's all how we choose to align our focus. So I'm going to teach you how to be able to create that focus. And most importantly, you're going to learn a lot about your identity, right? Not who you practice being or who you think you should be, but who you actually want to be. And I think that permission to allow women to dream a little bit more, to allow ourselves to express our true desires and what we truly want, is really important. Because again, when we think when we have that, we need to also know the how. But you don't need to know the how. You actually just need to know really what you want and feel confident in that. And the how will start to appear as you go down that path. So being able to help you to see that bigger picture for yourself, but also really have the tools to understand how do we allow ourselves to move forward. If we decide we don't want to feel unhappy about this, how can we choose a different direction, a different path and way to think about it? So tons of clarity, tons of alignment, and just really, I think, coming home, right? Sometimes when you really find that truth of yourself, it feels like that knowing, that coming home, that soul work. And we don't have to give ourselves permission to do that because we're so busy doing, right? I need to be doing something else, or there's always somebody else who needs to take advantage of. And so like just giving ourselves permission. I just celebrate every time somebody signs up for this, because you even saying yes before you even get into the room is a message to yourself that you matter. And that is to be celebrated. And whatever you come out of that room with is a bonus to you have been already telling yourself, like, I am worth spending some time on. I am worth stepping away from all of the other things that I know need my attention to just spend some time for me. And, live events are really great for that, right? Because it gives us permission to step away from life and to totally immerse ourselves in what we're there to do.
Well, let's talk about when it is, because I know it's coming up.
Yeah, so that's happening this coming Friday, so March 22nd, and it'll be in Murray. So great location, right on State Street and 5400 South, so very accessible. We're going to be meeting from 10 to 4, and again, like, such a great opportunity for people to step in and just have some curiosity with this event, right? We're going to dispel the judgment, put aside all of the guilt, and really just allow ourselves to see how we can have more of the life that we want that's possible. So
I love that. The tagline's right here. It says, you are meant to live an extraordinary life, handle life's challenges, and feel good. Say yes to work, family, and you. End cycles of self-doubt and mom guilt. Feel confident in the next level of who you want to be. That sounds awesome. You got to go to go.tinasalisbury.com/momentum summit. We'll put the link in there. Don't if you're driving out there, don't worry. Don't start trying to type that in. We'll have the link in the show notes for that, so you guys can go sign up for this. Get a ticket for this.
Yeah.
Virtually or in person. If you're out there, if my people in Sweden right now want to sign up for this, they can. Right? Because we got a virtual.
Yes. Yeah. It's so nice that it's going to be offered virtually. It's going to be offered live. So, I know not everyone can step away from work necessarily on Friday, but you can craft a specific day and time for you to put aside to step into this. So I'm really excited that it's offered virtually as well as in person. We also wanted to say thank you to everyone watching this and offer a discount for you as well. So when you go to check out, make sure you use the code Momentum10, Momentum all capitals, and that'll give you $10 off. Whether you register virtually or in person, you'll get that opportunity.
That's awesome. You know what? That'll be. We're putting that at the bottom of the screen right now, so people can see that. They can get the Momentum 10 for discount.
Love it.
And that'll be awesome. And that's for a virtual ticket or in person. So if you're actually right here in the areas, Salt Lake Valley, come on out, right? Like, we want the more the merrier.
Yeah. Be with us.
Get the message out there. I love this. Thank you so much, Tina, for jumping on with us. How else can we get in touch with you? We'll put the links in there for our listeners and our viewers now. We're on video.
Yes.
We're on video now.
Yeah. Good. Come and see us on social media. You can reach me either on Facebook or on Instagram at Tina Salisbury Coaching. So would love to see you and really work to, one, provide just some real fun with motherhood on those sites, as well as some good tips and tools that you can start using, and also some just different ways that we can think about it, right? Like asking ourselves better questions definitely gives us better answers. And the more that you understand that, the more power that you give back to yourself. So look forward to see you there too.
I love that. You just said something. It reminds me of, I just watched True Detective with Jodie Foster, who's amazing, by the way. I can't believe she went so many years without getting work because of her age. That's what I'm hearing from Hollywood. That's awful. Because in this new True Detective, kills it. But one of the best things that she continues through the show is, you're not asking the right question. You're not asking. She's a detective. You're not asking the right question. What's the right question? And I've been sticking with that lately because it's true.
Powerful.
Yeah, but I just had to throw that out there because I'm a pop culture nerd, so I always like to get those references out there. But
so here's a good question for you, right?
Yeah.
Being like, oh, I want to be there at the Momentum Summit, but I don't know how I can do it, right? Instead of asking yourself or telling yourself, I don't know how to do it, ask yourself this question instead. How could I do it? How could it be possible?
Look at you.
Right? And that is such a great question. Like for you, for your kids, right? Anytime, if your kids say, I don't know, or that's not possible, just ask them, well, if it could be possible, how could it be possible? It just gives ourselves permission to come up with answers that don't have to be right or wrong, and that can actually get us to the places that we want. So how could it be possible? One of the
love that.
questions for your arsenal.
I love that. Thank you for joining us today. That's it for me and Bex. Go to radiodaybreak.com for more of us. We got merch yet?
Oh my gosh.
I mean, I got a shirt on already, but we don't have a merch link up yet.
Your shirt.
It's okay. It'll get up soon.
We had to just transfer. Merch is coming. Merch to be announced.
I love it. It's on the way. It looks great. Hey, Ride the Wave Media's got merch coming too. We all got this thing's about to blow up, guys. It's about to pop off for us. So I'm so excited for everybody that's a part of all of this. Like, this is fun. Great connections. About to show the world. We're about to talk to the world.
Love it.
Love it. See you guys. Thank you.